I do think a helpful reframe for this comes in the form of, what would you do if it was your child?
You naturally protect them. I think once you have a child, you do need to have a level of selfishness.
Selfishness or selflessness?
Well, are we on about people towards your child or your child?
What would you do if your child was the one doing the hurting to someone else? How would you be to your child?
Well, selflessness.
You'd stick up for them.
You would stick up for them if they were being... Obviously, you'd stick up for them if someone was being horrible to them.
But let's, for the sake of the point, let's look at it from if they were doing it to someone else.
I would stick up for them, but if it got to a certain point where it sort of goes beyond or a little bit of a joke and a laugh, then I would tell them to basically shut the fuck up, because it's not right.
But you wouldn't do it that callously, though.
No, I wouldn't do it like that, but I'd tell them off. I'd tell them off. I'd make them go.
Stand up for them.
Yeah, I'd still stand up to them to a certain degree. Obviously, if it seems like a joke.
No, even let me lay it out in clear and dry terms for the sake of the point. Someone has done something intentionally hurtful to someone, and you know it. How do you deal with them as your child?
What, do they have a reason?
They're hurt.
Yeah, then I'd understand it.
You'd understand it?
Yeah, if someone punched my son's primary school girlfriend in the face, and my son did that to that person, punched the other guy in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd sort of be like, well, he's done it with him reason, hasn't he? No? Like, but like, he shouldn't do it, but like...
What about if someone's not doing it within reason? What about if someone has done something that is otherwise, that they shouldn't be punished for, and your child has decided to punish them for it?
Yeah, there, I'd draw the line there.
But how would you draw the line?
Ground my child?
No, but I would argue, consider my perspective and see how much of it resonates with you. I would stand up for my child in person, or in public rather, but my methods of doing so may well be to tell them absolutely that what they did was wrong. And if I knew what they did was wrong, I would tell them what they did was wrong. I wouldn't say that behind closed doors. I would let everyone know that was wrong.
Oh, like, yeah, like, definitely tell them it was wrong in public, 100%.
But...
you also got to take some action as well behind the
But my action would be to wonder and work on why they felt they needed to do that. Someone to feel... I would hope that as a father I would raise a child in an appropriate enough of a manner to be able to let them understand that in order to feel well you should never hurt someone. So if someone did that, if my kid did that, I would want to know why they did it. I'd want to know what's going wrong, because something obviously is going wrong. There's something has gone wrong. And on that point, when you look at... this is why I like this reframe for questions of moral ambiguity, let's say, is your child you want the best for. You want them to be safe, you love them. So when you realise that someone has done something awful, then you can understand that that child is obviously not feeling loved enough because they're hurt. And if they are hurt, then you feel it is your prerogative to do something about that. My point would be, anyone who hurts anyone is someone's child, which means that that person is, in many respects, worthy of being loved, and on that point, maybe hasn't been loved or taken care of in the way that they would like to have been taken care of, or has been in some way by the world misguided. This could not necessarily be as cut and dry as that. You could have two parents that love you wonderfully, but you don't pay any attention to the fact that they love you. That can happen. My point would be, still, people that are hurting someone else for the intensive purpose of revenge and, in simpler terms, trying to make themselves happy, are doing that to try and get something that if you were their parent, you would do everything you can to give them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
So, with that in mind, would you deal with your child with abhorrence and detest if they did something hurtful to someone else, if it was your child that did it?
Say that again, sorry.
If your child was hurtful to someone else, particularly hurtful, would you deal with them with abhorrence and detest?
Well, no, because that's neglect.
So why would you do it to anyone else?
Exactly. Because it's wrong.
Exactly. But my point is, I think there are few people, except unfortunately cases like the aforementioned 3-year-old fiasco. I think there are few parents in the world that would be able to say if their child did something horrendous that they would deal with them with detest and disgust. They might be disgusted by them, but they wouldn't deal with them that way because it's their son, it's their daughter, it's their kin.
Yeah. It's just the emotion.
And you couldn't help but think, my poor baby, what has gone wrong for you to do what you have done?
Yeah.
That is the case for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has that.
I'm pretty sure everyone's parents have felt like that about them at some point.
Or let's say the exception that proves the rule in the parents who are not this way. You know, most, for the sake of the point, the parents who do love their kids, which I would like to say most parents do. Excuse me. Everyone is in that circumstance. And my point there is, if we wouldn't deal with our kids with the aforementioned ways, if we wouldn't do that to them, why do we think it's okay to do it to anyone else?
I feel like some people feel like it's a free-for-all.
Explain what you mean by that.
So it's sort of like everyone against everyone, or like the world's against them, and that sort of turns them into sort of like some arrogance.
Go on, keep going.
So I feel like some people sort of think that they get attacked personally, whereas they forget that things that they get caught up in, or incidents that they get caught up in, happen everywhere to everyone, all around the world at some point in their life.
Yeah.
It's not just them. I feel like they think, like I said, that everyone is out to get them, out to take them down. And it's going to be caused from something that they have experienced in their past that may make them feel like that. But the fact that they take that to a point where they feel as though it's happening in their adulthood, probably taking it a step too far.
Why?
Because, like I said, it shows arrogance, I find.
Why?
Like everything's about them.
But everything is about you in some respects.
In your own world.
You are the centre of your universe.
Yes.
Until you have a child.
Yeah, that's very true. In your own world, and in your own universe, it is about you. But if someone has a go at you for, I don't know, knocking over their shelf,
which is totally condemnable in my books.
No, we'll say I messed up a Tesco employee's...
Knocking over their shelf. You fucking knocked over my shelf! Yeah, it's a Tesco employee.
Say if, you know where they do restocks?
Yep.
Say if I knocked over the whole fucking cart of, chocolate bars and everything.
Yeah.
And they started having a go at me.
Yeah.
If I was that person that would feel like they're out to get me...
Who are you in this?
I'm the person that knocked over the...
You're the pusher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like some people, it's going to happen at some point. It's an accident. Right? So what you have done in your universe there is made a mistake. In the other person's universe, they're thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? But I feel like to some people, their own mistakes, when they have someone have a go at them for their own mistakes, they feel as though that person that's having a go at them is out to get them.
They can't see that they actually instigated what's happened.
Yeah, they can't see that they have made a genuine mistake.
Yeah.
They think that it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah, and that you sort of like moonwalked your way into quite a good analogy there, that people make mistakes whenever they do any of these sort of hurtful behaviours.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't mean... It's with intent, but not meant in some respects.
Yeah.
As you say, though, a lot of people who do knock over the shopping cart don't see that it was them that brought about the annoyance of the other person by their actions.
Yeah.
This speaks, though, to the point that is at the centrepiece of what we're saying. If two people decide to clash with one another because they both cannot be anything but offensive, it doesn't work.
No.
When does it ever work for two people to shout at one another and it become well? It might, for the sake of the point, the caveat of maybe you have an argument that reaches a happy conclusion.
Yeah.
But if you had two people go, why the fuck you knocked my car over? Well, because I wanted to. That conversation doesn't work. No one comes out of this well. The conversation where someone goes, the fuck are you doing? That was my car. And you go, mate, I'm so sorry. I'll help you pick that up.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's the end of the conversation.
Exactly.
It ends well.
Yeah.
That's my point when it comes to empathy. That if we can, I know that's slightly different to empathy, but when we can deal... So,
you're showing empathy. It's just saying I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When we deal with people with kindness, we solve more problems than we create.